Today we're going to take a look at a whole bunch of accessories for Battlestar Galactica kits in 1/72nd scale and 1/32nd scale from Cozmic Scale Models. We're going to do them all in one video instead of breaking it down to two. We'll try to keep it as short as possible because it really is just an overview of the pieces. So let's get right into it. The first one we'll start out with is the 1/32nd scale Viper Bay accessories, Viper Pilot Ladder version 2. Comes in its cardboard box. When you open the box, it has an instruction sheet, some decals, and it's packed with bubble wrap. So let's take a look at this. The instruction sheet is just a simple fold out that tells you about the kit, to painted polished aluminum, where the decal goes, and how to do the decals with a gloss varnish. There's no way you're gonna see these decals on film because it's white on white, but I'll tell you, they are nice. It just says Galactica Hangar Bay 1 and Hangar Bay 2. And again, these decals are with one film over it, so you have to cut really close to your decals and then place them on. This is a 3D printed ladder in 1/32nd scale for the Viper kits. It's nicely done, all dried up. It does have marks from the supports on here, on the back of the ladder here, and you're not going to be able to see it, but there's support marks over here. And this is one of the major problems with 3D printing as opposed to casting or styrene injection. Those also have their problems, but with supports, you're not going to see it on camera also. There's very fine lines in the bottom of the base here, and where these little nubs are, you're going to end up sanding these off to get rid of them to make it look smooth, but you're going to lose those little fine line details, and that's going to be a real pain in the neck to put those back in. So if you do sand these off, you may end up having to sand it all flat down, and that might make it look a little bit better. The bottom, these are actually drain holes for after the print is done, and there is some bumps on the bottom, but you're not going to see those because the piece is just going to be flat down like that. So just be very careful taking these off. You probably will lose some detail there, but otherwise it's a very nice little ladder. Put it right up to your Viper and you're good to go. The next 1/32nd scale item we're going to look at is the Powerlift forklift for a diorama in a bay. And if you actually go over to Cosmic Scale Models, he does have a bay now for your Vipers. Open it up, in the package is the parts wrapped up. We have an instruction sheet in here. We have a card from Cosmic Scale Models. Let's take a look at the instruction sheet. Again, it's just a flip out, and the decals are inside here. The instructions go through how to put the pieces together, tells you what glue to use, and also again about the decals, how to put them on. These decals are colored so you can see them a little better. Again, it's one film, so you have to be very careful cutting as close as you can. This way you can get those on there really nice. You have the Battlestar Galactica symbol there, which looks really cool, and some other interesting decals for warning labels and stuff like that on the forklift. The kit comes in 6 3D printed parts, which look really nice. You have the control panel of the forklift here with the little knob, I know those that you go around. A little handle here and here. This is very nicely done. Just a few cleanup points here. Again, don't mind the holes. Those are for drainage after you're done with 3D printing. Not really a lot of cleanup on here. Here's the back end of the forklift. Again, very nicely cast. No support marks here. All the support marks are on the bottom. You just have to sand a few things down to get it to look a little bit better. Otherwise, it's really nicely done. This is the tray to support that back box that I was just showing you. It has some support marks in here, so you'll just sand those down so you get a nice level piece-to-piece connection. And that one just goes on here like this, and we'll have the back end of the forklift. This is the top section of the forklift. It's just a common small piece with a little detail in there. And actually, this little clear piece goes onto this. This goes this way towards the forklift, and then this goes towards the front. So I'm assuming that's supposed to be a light on the front of the top of the forklift right there. And then of course we have the forklift pieces right here to put on. This one, they're a little bent in. All you gotta do is take a little warm water, bend them back out, and they'll be straight. It just happens with 3D printing. There's a little bit of shrinkage. There's nothing you can do about it with certain parts. Just be careful, use some not super boiling water, but nice hot water, and you can get these back into place and straighten them up. If you don't mind that little bit of an angle, it's really no big deal. Just want to try to give you a little overview of what this piece looks like. You'll have the back end here. This is where a guy would stand. You have the forklift there. Really can't put this on. This is the top, and this little clear piece would be the light for where he's standing. With this forklift specifically, OSHA would not be happy with this forklift because the guy should not be standing actually where all the equipment would be going up and down. That would definitely be unsafe. So this actually should be this way. The guy should be over here safely, and then he can have his light there and the forklift in front. So Battlestar Galactica If this was your forklift in your show, you had your people in an unsafe condition. Now let's move over to the 1/72nd scale parts for the Vipers. They all come in these plastic bags with a little cardboard backing and the piece inside and the price on top of the bag. I'm not going to show you all the bags. Next, I'll just show you the pieces. And here's the little 1/72nd scale ladder. It's the same exact thing as the 1/32nd scale one, except scaled down. So the instructions will be to paint it that silver color. You'll have to take off the little nubs down there. That one's not as bad because the little lines aren't as noticeable on the smaller version of this, but it is a little more delicate because it is smaller. There's very nice detail in the holes in the steps, so it would be like metal steps going up, and you get 2 of them in the bag because I think that Viper one comes with 2 kits. The thing I do notice is that it does come with 2 of them, and they are both different shapes. If you can see that, this one has more of like a gun type shape, and then this goes into kind of a triangle to come down. So I'm assuming this is for a Viper 7 and Viper Mark II, is it? I would just test fit them to see which one goes with which kit because it doesn't say on the instructions. The next package, the Viper Bay Accessory Set 1, comes with 3 pieces. It comes with a Husky-like tool chest. It comes with a stand so the mechanics can get to wherever they have to get to on a Viper, and it also comes with a good old engine lift. So things we're using today, they're using in the future, just a regular old standard engine lift. They're all nicely detailed. Again, all 3D printed, no real marks, and if the marks are on here, they're on the bottom. And here's our little tool chest. It looks like a 12 or 16 drawer tool chest, just like a Husky you would get. You have to do some sanding on the back. There is some leftover mold lines there, and sanding on the bottom, and you're good to go with that one. And real quick, here's the stands, nicely detailed. Holes look beautiful going through there, and the sanding is on the bottom again. The next piece we have for the Viper accessories is this little push cart. It actually has holes on the bottom 4 corners. These basically are drain holes, but they're used for something else. It comes with 4 little caster wheels that you would put on here, and then you have a little, you could put a little, tools or something in here. This way it's right next to the Viper, and it could look like they're working on it, but it's nicely detailed. Has the nice lines here that you could throw a wash in, bring out the color that you're going to put on here. Little handle up top and actually a little grab handle inside. So there's extra details on here, and if you're building a diorama, these will add nicely to it. I'm sorry, this one is actually 1/32nd scale, not 1/72nd scale. Here we have some more 1/32nd scale equipment for a diorama. This is all testing equipment that you can put in the bay. It comes with decals here that you can see are colored for the panels and the displays on the equipment. Also for the laptop there, you can see the keys are all in white. This way you can see those. Diagnostic sticker. The white one here is very hard to see, but it comes with decals again. Here's one of your diagnostic equipment pieces. You'd have the little screen here where you can put the decal, all the little buttons on here, and that looks pretty cool. And the cool thing about this set that I'm looking at is you can actually use it for other things, like if you're doing a garage scene or something like that, instead of just using it for a Battlestar Galactica bay. Here's another piece of test equipment. I'm not quite sure what this would be testing. It looks like you would put cables in those holes and hook them up to something on the ship, like the computers. This way you can run a diagnostic on the computers. And again, here's another handheld diagnostic piece of equipment. You can see the screen in the middle, the knobs on the sides. And like I said, these don't have to be just used for Battlestar Galactica. These are pretty cool and can be used for other things in 1/32nd scale. And last but not least, this one is probably pretty hard to see. This is the little laptop. It's got keypad in there, which if you used a decal on there and a little setting solution, it should suck right down to those. And then you'll see the keys and then the panel over here for the display. Up next, we have a computer, and the first thing I'll do is go over the screens. These look like they actually might be stickers. I don't want to push down. They don't feel or look like decals. They got a textured surface to them, but this is your diagnostics here and here, or your Battlestar Galactica symbol there. Okay, on the directions on the back, it's saying these are decals. They don't look like decals to me. They have an interesting texture to them. I don't know. You can cut them off, dip them in water. I don't want to do that and ruin anything right now, and see if they are decals. If they're not, you could just cut close, but if you feel them, if you get these and you feel them, what I would do is probably cut these out as close as possible. Just use white glue on the back and stick it to the piece. And here's the computer system here. It actually reminds me of something from today also, when you're getting your car inspected. I don't know if they do that anywhere else. I know they do it in the States, but when you get your car inspected, they have a diagnostic machine like this. This is a pretty cool computer. Just some cleanup on the bottom, no real cleanup on the back. There is one support here, so be careful when you clip that off, because after 3D prints are cured and you clip off supports, sometimes it will snap and crack your piece. Next up is what they're calling a gas trolley. It comes with 2 decals to put on there. Just cut them out. Again, as close as you can. Again, these have that weird texture to them, like they're not decals, but it does look like it has decal carrier film on them. So cut them out, dip them in the water, and put them onto the piece itself. This little kit comes with 2 parts. It comes with the little grab pull around handle. Be very careful with this. This is thin and fragile. Like as I was telling you in the last part, the 3D printing after it's cured can snap very easily. So what I would do is I would try to cut these pieces out over here, these pieces out over here, remove the sides, and then gently start taking this off. This way you're not just going clip, clip, and this is gonna shatter on you. And the other piece is the gas can, which is nicely detailed. Again, it's got its little casters on there. It's got the little handle up here, and then you can put your decals on here. I would actually sand this down a bit just to get some of the marks out of here, but otherwise that's a nice piece. And again, this doesn't even have to be used for Battlestar Galactica. It could be used in other dioramas. And this is the last piece I have. This is also in 1/32 scale, and I forgot to mention the piece I showed you before this was in 1/32 scale also. And this is just the little pull along thing that they would put on the Viper so they can tow it through the bay and get it ready for taking off out into space and fighting Cylons. It's just a long piece of 3D printed bar. That's the best thing I could think of. It would be a steel bar to pull it around. The cleanup is on the bottom, which is nice. There are a lot of points on here that would be the supports, so that's no big deal. It's on the bottom. Just sand that down. Again, this has a curvature to it, so if you put it in some warm water, bend it down or put something heavy on it after you warm it up, and then it'll go flat into place. And the other piece to this kit are the tires, which are left on the supports. These tires are pretty thick, so I wouldn't worry too much about shattering them. Just gently clip off all the supports and you're good to go. This wheel over here does need a little sanding cleanup on the top. There was probably, I don't think there was another support there. There shouldn't have been. All the support should be on the bottom. And then you could slap these on here and have your Viper towed around. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the video on the Cozmic Scale Models 3D parts for Battlestar Galactica. Like I said, some of these parts are cool and can be used for other dioramas like cars or other futuristic stuff in 1/32 scale. So very nice that they have multiple uses. If you're interested in these parts, go over to CosmicScaleModels.com. Their link will be in the description below, so you don't have to go searching for it. And they got a lot of other cool stuff for Battlestar Galactica and all other sorts of 3D printed stuff over their bases and things like that. I mentioned it in the last video, and if you haven't yet, throw comments in the comment section below, because if you guys are interested in this and you don't want to pay that outrageous shipping that's out there right now, we will talk to Cozmic Scale Models and see what we can hold of these on the shop. This way we cut out the shipping for you all the way from England. You'll just have to pay what's in the United States, and it makes it a lot cheaper for you guys. If you guys like this content, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button, because that helps the YouTube algorithm get this video out to other modelers. And if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. We would love to have you as part of the HLI community. And speaking of communities, if you haven't come over yet, come over to community.hobbylinkinternational.com. All of our links are in the description below. Just go check them out. Come visit us. We'd love to have you on the community, checking out your builds and making new friends and all that other good stuff. So I hope everybody's well out there and taking care of yourselves. We'll see you on the next video. Take care, and bye-bye, everybody.